Hello and welcome to Immanuel Lancers versus the Blair-Taylor Wildcats JV Boys Basketball. Taking the tip will be number 24 Thompson and number 23 Arnson. Thompson will win the tip over to Radical, and he will take it slowly up the floor. Gonna drive around, cut back out. Sends it down low to Leduc. Leduc in the corner. Sends it up top to Thompson. Thompson will drive in. Goes all the way, and gonna have to pass back out to Leduc. Leduc drives in. Gonna pass out to Miller, but a travel. Olsen will pass it into Thompson, and he will take it up the floor. Sends it back over to Olsen. Olsen's going to drive around, going to pass out to CJ. Sends it out to Arnson. Arnson up top. Sends it over to Wagner. Wagner tries driving, going to pass back up top to Thompson. Thompson drives around, out to CJ. Puts it up, and Arnson's got it. Radical passes over to Thompson. Thompson up top to Cornish. Cornish going to drive in, and is stripped. Picked up by Wagner. Wagner loses it, and going to pass out to Olsen, over to Thompson. Thompson up top. Sends over to Olsen. Olsen's going to drive around, and going to pass down low to Arnson. Arnson puts it up, and this one a bit off. Rebounded, and missed again by Wagner. Radical up top, sends it over to Thompson. Thompson gonna drive around. Goes all the way in, puts it up, and is fouled. Thompson will shoot two. And his first will bounce out. And he will make his second. Pass into Thompson, he'll take up the floor. Sends it over to CJ. Gonna pass over to Wagner. Back up top to CJ, and he's gonna airball. Rebounded by Wagner, over to Olsen, up top to Thompson. Thompson takes a three, and his will bounce out. Tipped and rebounded by Thompson. Thompson's got it up top. Gonna pass over to Leduc. Leduc up top to Radical. Back over to Thompson. Thompson in the low corner. Gonna drive in, cut back out. Pass up top to Miller. Sends it over to Radical, over to Thompson. Thompson tries to cut in, gonna pass over to Leduc. Up top to Thompson. Fakes, puts up a jumper, and he's got it. Thompson will take up the floor. Gonna pass down low to Arnson, up top to CJ. Sends it over to Olsen, up top to CJ, takes another three. This one bounces out as well, and rebounded by Cornish. Sends it over to Radical, up top to Thompson. Thompson over to Miller. Miller gonna drive in, put up a jumper, and can't get it off the glass. Rebounded by Wagner. And jumper by Arnson off. Rebounded by Olsen, up top to Thompson. Over to Olsen, Olsen drives in. Puts it up, and he's got it off the glass. Thompson bring up the floor. Gonna drive in, cut back out. Makes a move, gonna pass over Leduc. Leduc drives in, is stripped, gets it back, and gonna pass over to Miller. Miller drives in, pass over to Cornish. Cornish will drive in and loses it. Gets it back and passes over to Thompson. He loses it and out of bounds, but off of Arnson. And timeout by the Lancers. 12 minutes left, a 4-3 lead for the Wildcats. Pass into Radical. Gonna send it over to Thompson. Thompson takes a three, and he's got it. Gives the Lancers a 2-point lead, 6-4. Thompson up top. Loses it, and gonna pass over to Arnson. Back over to Thompson. Thompson gonna drive around. Passes it down to Arnson. He has the easy layup and bounces out. Put back up, and number 25, Wagner's got it. Radical's got it up top. Sends it over to Cornish. Cornish drives all the way in, puts it up, and he's got it off the glass. Over to CJ. CJ drives in, cut back out. Pass over to Thompson. Thompson will drive around, gonna pass down low to Wagner. Back up top to Thompson. Gonna pass down low to Wagner. Puts it off the glass, and he's got it. Radical will bring it up the floor. Sends it up top to Thompson. Sends it up top to Miller. Miller over to Leduc. Gonna drive in. And pass deflected and picked up by CJ. He's gonna try to push the floor. Makes a move, puts it up, and off the front of the rim. Tipped around, and foul on Thompson. Falkenberg and Eichstead will enter, as will number 41, Jar. Olsen will pass it in down low. Pass out to Wagner, takes a three and airballs. Radical up the floor. Sends it over to Thompson. Thompson up top to Eichstead. Sends it over to Miller, who was not ready for the pass, and that'll be Wildcat ball. Keeney will enter for Miller. And Olsen will pass it into Thompson. Sends it back over to Olsen. Olsen passed down low, puts it up, and is blocked by Thompson, but a foul. That was number 25, Wagner. Wagner will shoot two. And he's got his first. And his second will bounce out and rebounded by Thompson. Thompson up the floor. Thompson going to drive in and pass up top to Falkenberg. Going to drive around. Going to pass the low to Keeney. Keeney gets swatted out of bounds. CJ will enter for Wagner, and Bauer will enter for Thompson. And Radical will pass it in down low. Sends it in to Keeney. Keeney drives around. Gonna pass out to Eichstead. Eichstead gets stripped, gets it back, gets a screen. Gonna pass up top to Radical. Sends it over to Keeney. Keeney takes a three and bounces off. Thompson takes a three. His bounces off and rebounded by Falkenberg. Radical up top. Gonna send it over to Falkenberg in the corner. He's gonna drive around, get stripped, and is fouled. Radical will pass it in down low. Sends it up top to Eichstead. Eichstead down low to Falkenberg. Sends it down low to Bauer. Bauer puts it up. Air ball's run by Radical. He puts it up and is fouled. Radical will shoot two. And is first off the front of the rim. Connor will enter. And Radical second. Will find its way in. Ties up the game at 9 apiece. Cornish and Miller will enter. Olsen will pass it in to Thompson. And he will take it up the floor. Sends it down low to Arnson. Back up top to CJ. He takes a three and air balls. Rebounded by Falkenberg. Cornish pass over to Keeney. Keeney gonna drive around, pass over to Falkenberg. Tips off his hands and picked up by CJ. He's got a 2-on-2, takes it, nope. Gonna pass over to number 31 Connor, and he's got the layup. Miller up the floor. Gonna pass over to Cornish. Sends it over to Keeney. Up top to Bauer. Sends it over to Miller. Miller will dribble it back out up top. Sends it over to Falkenberg. Sends it over to Keeney. Keeney drives around. And gonna pass over to Falkenberg. Falkenberg in the high corner. Gonna drive her in. And carry. Olsen will enter for Thompson. And Jacob Olsen will pass into Austin Olsen. And he will take it up the floor. Sends it over to Connor. Up top to CJ. Takes another three. This time he's got it. Gives the Wildcats a 14-9 5-point lead with 7:10 left. Miller up the floor. Gonna drive around, get stuck, and gonna take it back out up top. Over to Falkenberg. Up top to Bauer. Over to Cornish. Cornish tries to drive in, gonna cut back out. Sends over to Falkenberg. Falkenberg gonna drive in. Pass down low, and into the hands of Olsen. Olsen up top, gonna send it over to CJ. Gonna pass back up top to Olsen. Back to the other Olsen. Back to the other Olsen. Down low to Olsen again. And back up top to Olsen. Picked up by CJ off the foot. Sends it over to Olsen. Over to Arnson. Arnson over to Olsen. Up top to Connor. Over to Arnson. Makes a move. Puts up a jumper and rims out. Rebounded by Miller. Miller's got it up top. And timeout by the Lancers. 14-9, a 5-point lead for the Wildcats with 5:54 left in the first half. Miller will pass it in to Thompson. And he will take it up the floor. Sends it over to Falkenberg. Down low to Thompson. Gonna pass over to Koenig. Too far and out of bounds. Olsen will pass it into CJ. And he will take it up the floor. Gonna drive around. Pass down low to Olsen. Up top to CJ. Gonna send it down low to Arnson. Finds a seam and can't get it to fall, but a foul. Arnson's first. Will rim out. Leduc and Radical will enter for Koenig and Falkenberg. And Arnson will shoot his second. And he'll get that one to fall. Timeout by the Wildcats. Currently have a 6-point lead, 15-9 with 5:32 left in the first half. Thompson will take it up the floor. Looking around. Gonna pass up top to Cornish. Sends over to Miller. Pass over to Thompson. And pass to Leduc, stolen away by CJ. He's got open floor, and he's got the layup. Radical will take up the floor. Pass over to Cornish. Just gets past CJ this time. Gonna pass on low, stolen away. But tip back in the hands of Cornish. Up top to Thompson. Over Leduc. Down low to Miller. We're gonna pass on low to Thompson. Thompson drives around. Makes a move. We're going to pass over to Radical. Radical drives around. Pass up top to Cornish. He takes a three. And off the boards and out. Off of Miller and out of bounds. Thompson will enter for Olsen. And he'll pass it into CJ. Back over to Thompson. He'll take it up the floor. Sends it down low to Arnson. Sends it down low and just rims out for number 35, Oldendorf. Thompson will take up the floor. Thompson will drive in. Pass out to Miller. Thinks about three, doesn't take it. Going to drive up top and pass over to Thompson. Sends over to Radical. Sends it over to Thompson. Going to drive in, and he's stripped. Bauer will enter for Cornish, and Thompson will pass it into CJ. Sends it over to Connor. Over to CJ. He takes another three, and this one bounces out. Rebounded by Bauer. Radical pass over to Thompson. Thompson cuts out, puts up a jumper, and he's got it. Sends it down low. Tipped out of Arson's hands and into Thompson. CJ will send it back over to Thompson and saves it from going across. Pass over to Connor. He takes a three and he's got it. Thompson up top. Sends it over to Leduc. Gonna send it down low to Bauer. Stripped away and picked up by Thompson. Thompson gonna pass over, and shot just tipped out by Oldendorf. Thompson's got it up top. Gonna drive around, fakes, and send out to Miller. Miller up top. Sends it over to Radical. Radical will drive around and cut back out. Sends it down low to Leduc. Out to Radical. Fakes, gonna drive around and pass out to Thompson. Thompson down low to Radical. Radical puts it up, he's fouled, and one. Nice shot by Radical in the lane. 7, chance to cut it to 6 for Radical at the line. Falkenberg will enter for Leduc. And Wagner and Olsen will enter for Olsen and Oldendorf. Radical's first and only will bounce out. Sends it over to Thompson. Thompson down low, picked off, and picked up by Thompson. Over to Falkenberg. He puts it up, and he's got the layup to fall. Cuts the lead down to 5, 20-15. Thompson's got it, gonna pass over to Arnson. Over to CJ. Fakes. Gonna pass over to Thompson. Pass tipped by Radical, he takes a three, and bounces off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Falkenberg. And fell on the Lancers. Olsen will pass it in down low. Down low, but to Arnson, blocked by Radical. Radical gonna drive all the way down in, puts it up, can't get it to fall. Bounce off the boards, picked up by Thompson. He puts it up, and he's got it. Pass down low to Arnson. Up top to Olsen. His three will rim out, rebounded by Falkenberg. Thompson drives in, gonna pass over to Bauer. Bauer drives around, fakes, gonna pass over to Falkenberg. He's going to put up a jumper. And off the boards and out. Thompson up top to Olsen. Over to CJ. He takes another three. And this one will rim out. And rebounded by Falkenberg. Sends it over to Thompson. Thompson's got it up top. 15 seconds left. Trailing by 3. Gonna put up a jumper. Blocked and picked up by Arnson. Gonna try to drive in. Makes a move. Puts it up and can't get it off the glass. Rebounded by Olsen. He puts it up. He can't get it off the glass. Rebounded by Arnson, and this time he's got it. And that'll end the half. 22-17, a 5-point lead for the Wildcats going into halftime. And welcome back to Lancers versus Wildcats. The first half stats for the Wildcats. 5 points for CJ with 1 3 and 1 field goal. He has 4 missed threes. For Arnson, he has 2 field goals made with 5 missed. Wagner is 2 for 3 on field goals with 1 missed 3. And Connor has 1 3 and 1 field goal plus a free throw, all at 5 points. For the Lancers, Cornish has a missed 3 and 1 made free throw. Radical has 1 made and 1 missed field goal with 1 missed free throw and 1 made free throw, and 2 missed. Thompson is 1 for 1 on threes and 3 for 4 on field goals and 1 for 2 on free throws. Lancers currently trail by 5, 22-17. Passing it in for the Lancers will be number 14, Radical. Radical will pass it in to Miller. And he will take it up the rest of the floor. Sends it over to Leduc. Leduc up top to Bauer. Bauer over to Radical. Radical over to Cornish. Cornish going to try to drive in, cut back out. Sends it over to Radical. Radical will drive around and send up top to Leduc. Over to Bauer. Bauer fakes and going to pass up top to Cornish. Going to drive around, cut back out. Sends over to Bauer. Up top and stolen away by CJ. Goes all the way and he's got the layup. Radical will take it back up the floor for the Lancers. Sends it over to Cornish. Cornish going to try to drive in, going to pass back out to Miller. Miller fakes, going to pass up top to Leduc. Over to Bauer. Going to pass up top to Radical. Sends over to Bauer. Going to drive around. Going to fake and pass over to Radical, but too far out of bounds. Pass it into Thompson, and he'll take up the floor. Over to CJ, takes a 3 and airballs. Olsen will tip it off of Miller and out of bounds. That'll be Wildcat ball. Keeney will Keeney will enter for Bauer, and Olsen will pass it in down low for the Wildcats. Sends it over to CJ. Gonna drive in, put up a jumper, and he's got it. Sends the lead to 9, 26-17. Radical drives in, puts up a jumper, and trickles in. Thompson up top. The pass down low, tipped and stolen away by Cornish. Pass over to Radical. Radical's gonna push it. And forces to cut back out. Sends it over to Keeney. Down low to Miller. Gonna try to drive around. And pass up top to Cornish. Cornish drives in, cuts back out. Pass over to Keeney. Gonna drive in, put it up, and too far. Foul on Keeney, and that'll be Wildcat ball. Falkenberg will enter for Leduc. And Olsen will pass it into Thompson. And Thompson will take up the floor. Gonna pass over to CJ. Over to Connor. Up top to Thompson. He takes a three, and he's got it. Thompson's first three tonight, has taken three previously. Radical's got it up top. Sends it over to Keeney. Keeney gonna pass over to Miller. Miller down low to Falkenberg, and off the foot of the Wildcats and out of bounds. Miller will pass it in down low. Gonna send it into Falkenberg down low. Puts it up, and rebounded by Thompson. Pass over to CJ, out of bounds, and that'll be Lancer ball. Keeney will pass it in to Miller, and he will take up the floor. Miller gonna pass over to Cornish. Cornish gonna drive in, put it up, and can't get it off the glass. Rebounded by Wagner. He's gonna try to push it. Gonna pass it to Thompson. He takes a three, and this one bounces out. Rebounded by Cornish. Cornish up the floor. Sends it over to Falkenberg, and tipped out of bounds off the Wildcats. Miller will pass it in from the low corner. Sends it into Falkenberg. He's got a lane. He takes it, puts it up, and he's fouled. Falkenberg will shoot two. He will make his first. And his second, a chance cut to 8 for the Lancers. And this one will bounce out. Tipped around and rebounded by Miller. Miller puts up a jumper, and he's got it. Cuts the lead to 7. Thompson up top. Gonna drive around and send over to Wagner. Thompson puts up a three. Sorry, Connor puts up a three. Missed and picked up by Falkenberg. Passed over to Cornish. Eichstead over to Keeney. Keeney drives in. Gonna pass over to Miller. Miller drives around. Gonna pass it to Falkenberg. Sends it over to Cornish. Cornish fakes. And gonna pass up top to Eichstead. Gonna drive around. Pass tipped and picked up by Falkenberg. Then tipped out of bounds off Olsen. Radical and Bauer will enter for Keeney and Miller. And Connor exits while number 41, Jar, enters. Eichstead will pass it in to Cornish. Sends it down low to Falkenberg. Backs him down, puts it up, and can't get off the glass. Rebounded by Radical. He puts it up, gets swatted away. Off a Jar and out of bounds, and that'll remain with the Lancers. Radical pass up top to Cornish. Gonna pass over to Radical. Down low to Falkenberg. Puts up to, gives over to Radical. Radical puts it up and he can't get it to fall. Pass over to CJ. Over to Olsen. Up top to Jar. Fakes a three, gonna drive inside, put it up, and he's got it off the glass. Radical will take up the floor, trailing by 9. Gonna pass it over to Cornish. Cornish fakes. Still scanning and going to pass up top to Falkenberg. Going to drive in, put it up, and is stripped. Tipped out of bounds off the Wildcats. Leduc and Miller will enter for Cornish and Falkenberg. And Radical will pass it in down low. Sends it up top to Miller. Miller going to pass over to Leduc. Going to drive in, put it up, and is blocked, but a foul. And Leduc will shoot 2. His first will bounce out. Olsen will enter for Jar. Leduc second. Will bounce out as well. Tipped around and rebounded by Olsen. Olsen up top to Thompson, too far. Miller will pass it into Radical, and he will take up the floor. Gonna pass over to Leduc. Leduc will drive around. Nearly gets stripped, gonna pass on to Radical. He puts it up, and off the glass and out. Up top to Thompson. Thompson over to CJ, too far out of bounds. Radical will take up the floor. 9:19 left, and a 9-point deficit for the Lancers. Passed down low, tipped around, and picked up by Bauer. And Bauer will travel. Cornish will enter for Bauer. And pass on to Olsen, and he'll take up the floor. Sends it over to Thompson. Thompson looks, gonna pass over to CJ. Back over to Olsen. Up top to CJ, over to Thompson. Sends it over to Olsen and puts up a jumper and bounces out. Rebounded by Olsen himself, and he puts it up for the easy layup. Radical bring up the floor, now trailing by 11. Pass over to Leduc. Pass up top to Cornish. Cornish gonna drive in. And foul. Falkenberg will enter for Leduc. And Kleppen will enter for Thompson. Pass up top to Cornish. Over to Radical. Thinks Webster, he doesn't take it. Pass over to Miller. He thinks Webster, he doesn't take it either. Gonna drive in, put up a jumper, and bounces out. Rebounded by Radical, tipped out of his hands, and picked up by Olsen. Pass over to Olsen, drives in, puts it up, and is fouled. Olsen's first will bounce out. Oldendorf will enter for Wagner. And Olsen will shoot his second. And he'll get that one to fall. Gives the Wildcats a 12-point lead, 34-22 with 8 minutes left. Radical up top. Sends it over to Miller. Miller will drive around. Put up a jumper and is fouled. Miller's first will bounce out. And Miller's second will bounce out as well. Tipped around and rebounded by Olsen. Olsen up the floor. Sends over to Kleppen. He takes a three. And air balls. Rebounded by Olsen. Pass in and foul on against Oldendorf. And he will shoot two, a chance to extend the Wildcat lead to 14. He will make his first. And he'll make a second as well. Clokey will enter for Miller. And Radical will pass it in to Clokey, who will pass it back to Radical. And Radical will take up the floor. Gonna pass down low to Falkenberg. Gonna drive around, put it up, and bounces off the glass, off the rim and out. Rebounded by Olsen. Olsen up top. Gonna drive around, put it up, and is blocked by Falkenberg. Picked up by Radical. Sends over to Cornish. Cornish over to Falkenberg. Puts up for the layup, and he's got it. Smooth transition by the Lancers. Lance cut it back to 12. 36-24. Olsen up top. Sends over to CJ. Gonna drive around. Pass to low and stolen away by Radical again. Tries to get the corner and forced to cut back out. Pass over to Falkenberg. Gonna drive in. Put it up and can't get it off the glass. Rebounded by CJ. Pass over to Kleppen. And timeout by the Wildcats. 36-24, 12-point lead for the Wildcats with 6:37 left in the second half. Olsen will pass it in to Thompson. And he will take it up the floor. Guarded closely by Radical. Gets trapped in the corner. Sends it out to CJ. CJ gonna pass over to Olsen. Fakes. Gonna drive around and pass back up top to CJ. Pass back over to Olsen. Back over to CJ. Stolen away by Radical. He's gonna push the line. Tries to find a corner, and he's got the layup. Lancers pressing him hard. Not tied up. Cut the lead to 10. Pass down low and stolen away by Falkenberg. He's gonna take it himself, put it up, and can't get it off the glass. Rebounded by Radical. He puts it up. He can't get it off the glass, and rebounded by Olsen. Thompson's got it, gonna pass over to Olsen. Olsen stuck in the corner. And timeout by the Wildcats. Lots of press by the Lancers, gotten 2 steals and only 2 points off it. We'll be back in a few seconds for the remainder of the game. 10-point lead for the Wildcats, 36-26 with 5:42 left in the second half. CJ will pass it in down low. Sends it over to Thompson. Thompson takes a three and rims out. Rebounded and put back up by Connor and is fouled. Connor will shoot two. Chance to extend the lead to 12. His first off the front of the rim. Cornish will enter for Clokey. And Connor will shoot his second. And he'll get that one to fall. Pass it to Miller, over to Radical, and he will take up the floor. Gonna pass over to Leduc. Sends it over to Cornish. Cornish gonna try to drive in, cut back out. Pass over to Bauer. Sends it up top to Radical. Radical scanning, gonna pass over to Cornish. Cornish drives in, fakes, puts up a jumper, and bounces out, rebounded by Bauer and Olsen. Jump ball, and that'll be Wildcats. Olsen will pass it in to Thompson, and will take up the floor. Sends it over to CJ. All the way back over to Connor. Up top to Thompson. Down low and tipped out of bounds off of Bauer. Olsen will pass it in from the low corner. Gets it into Thompson. Pass over to CJ. Pass tipped and stolen away by Leduc. Gonna pass over to Bauer. Up top to Radical. Pass over to Cornish. Cornish gonna try to drive in, cut back out. Fakes. And gonna pass over to Radical. Radical gonna pass down low, tipped, and in the hands of Miller. Miller gonna drive in. Fakes, pass down low, and off the foot of Bauer. And out of bounds. Pass over to Connor. Pass over to Thompson. Scanning. Gonna send it back over to Connor. Down low, and foul on Leduc. Falkenberg and Eichstead will enter for Leduc and Bauer. And also passing down low. 4 minutes left, an 11-point lead for the Wildcats. Sends into Connor. Up top, and stolen away by Radical. Tries to push it, gonna pass over to Eichstead instead. Over to Radical. Radical gonna try to drive in. Pass up to Eichstead. Gonna drive around. Pass over to Radical. Gonna drive up top, pass over to Eichstead. Eichstead over to Falkenberg. Gonna drive in. And jump ball that's gonna stay with the Lancers. Radical will pass it in. Down low. To Miller in the corner. Sends up top to Radical. Back over to Miller. Up top to Cornish. Tries to drive around. Gonna pass on to Falkenberg. Puts it up and off the glass, off the rim and out. Pass down low, tipped around, in the hands of Radical. He's going to try to push it. He's got a 2-on-2, takes it himself, and lays it in for the easy bucket. Cuts the lead to 9, 37-28 with 3 minutes left. Thompson up top. Pass over to CJ. Pass deflected, and stolen by Cornish up top to Radical. Radical's got a lane. He puts it up, and he's got it again. Radical, 4 straight points, and the Lancers are back in it, down only 7 with 2:40 left. Transition huge for the Lancers here. Thompson up top. Gets stuck, and going to pass over to CJ. Down low, and there'll be a foul on Olsen. Olsen passing in from the corner. Gets it into Connor. Back up top to Thompson. Over to Connor. Up top to Thompson, stolen away, and picked up by Cornish. He's got Radical coming on the side. Takes it himself, puts it up, and he's got it! Nice shot by Cornish through contact. And cuts the lead down to 5 with 2 minutes left. Lancers 6 quick buckets, and they're within striking distance. And we have a timeout by the Wildcats. 37-32, a 5-point lead for the Wildcats was 11 a few minutes ago. Lancers have cut it down, 2 minutes left. (37-32), a 5-point lead for the Wildcats. Currently have the ball in the corner and in the bonus. Wagner will pass it in, high corner. Gets it into Thompson. Time ticking down from 2 minutes. Over to Connor. Sends it over to Thompson. Thompson pass down low. Up top to Connor. Over to Thompson. Gonna send it over to Connor. Up top to Thompson. Pass down low and stolen away by Miller. Miller gonna try to push it. Pass down low to Radical. Tipped and out of bounds. It'll be Lancer ball down low. Olsen will enter for Connor. And Radical passing it down low. More good defense by the Lancers. Chance to cut it to a 1-possession game. Radical will send it into Miller up top. Big possession here for the Lancers. Pass over to Eichstead. Down low to Cornish. Cornish backs him down. Puts up a jumper. And bounces out. Rebounded by Olsen. Thompson up top. Gonna send it over to Corner. Down low. Gonna pass over to Wagner. He puts it up and is fouled. 1:21 left. Still a 5-point lead for the Wildcats. Wagner shooting 2. His first will bounce off the back of the rim. And his second will bounce out as well. Rebounded by Miller. And going to be a jump ball. Wildcat ball down low. Wagner will pass it in. Sends it down low and picked up by Cornish. He's got a 2-on-2 pass over to Radical. He's got space, puts it up, and another transition layup for Radical. This game back within 3. Thompson up top, gonna pass over to Olsen. Pass to low foot, and that's Radical's foot. That's gonna remain with the Wildcats. Olsen will pass it in from the corner. Into Thompson. Time ticking down under a minute. 3-point lead for the Wildcats. Gonna pass over to Olsen. Up top to CJ. He finds a lane, puts it up, pass down low to Olsen, and he's got the layup. Huge bucket for the Wildcats. Pass in a Radical. 45 seconds left. Radical scanning, gonna pass over to Cornish. Cornish stripped and picked up by himself. Pass down low, tipped, and out of bounds off CJ. Timeout by the Lancers. Crucial possession here for the Lancers, trailing by 5 with 37.2 seconds left.
Can I go? Or?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay. I'll be watching. You can do the hard
Thanks.
It's moving. Yeah, it is. (39-34), 5-point lead for the Lancers. Their current leading scorer is Radical. Had a lot of transition buckets in the last few minutes. Currently has 13 points. And for the Wildcats, it is CJ, number 13, with 10 points. Huge possession for the Lancers here, trailing by 5. Miller will pass it in down low. Gonna send it into Cornish and tipped away by Wagner. Wagner gonna push it, gonna pass up to CJ. CJ drives in, pass down low to Olsen. He puts it up and is blocked. Rebounded by Thompson. Back over to Olsen. 26 seconds left. Lancers need to steal quick. Pass over to CJ. And he's gonna be fouled. 19.6 seconds left. Big free throws for CJ here. Could extend the lead to 3 possessions. CJ's first. Will bounce out and rebounded by Olsen. Up top to Thompson. Over to Olsen. 15 seconds left. Gonna pass down low to Olsen. Up top to Thompson. Pass over to Olsen. And he's fouled. 8.7 seconds left. More free throws coming for the Wildcats, still a 1-1. Sorry about that. Olsen's first. Will bounce out. Rebounded by Miller. 5 seconds left. Miller's going to push it. Sends down low, over to Cornish. Cornish puts it up. And rebounded by Wagner, and that's going to be the game. 34-39, another close one. Lancers can't pull it out at the end. Wildcats hang on. The varsity game will be starting in about 30 minutes. However, the broadcast will be starting at about 5 for band.